Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Can't hear. Okay, members, welcome to the Corporate and Regeneration Scrutiny Committee on the 17th of February 2026. Okay, this meeting will be live streamed and a recorder made available to view via the Council's website, except for discussions involving confidential or exempt items. Therefore, the images or audio of those individuals speaking will be publicly available to all via the recording at the Council's website. Agenda item 1, to receive apologies for absence. Mark?
No apologies received for this meeting, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Item 2, declarations of interest. Councillors and officers are reminded of the personal responsibility to declare any personal or prejudicial interest in respect of any item of business on this agenda. In accordance with the Local Government Act 2000, the Council's Constitution and the Code of Conduct for both councillors and officers. Okay, members, I personally have a declaration of interest. My sister has classed herself as a Wopsy woman who was hard done by, and I have emailed the monitoring officer, and I'm making it personal, but I will be voting and having a say in it as well. Okay, Councillor Parry.
Oh, thank you very much, Chair, and thank you for allowing me to speak this evening as well. Yeah, I'd like to declare personal interest in this because I am too a waspy woman.
Thank you. Councillor Bishop.
I need to declare an interest. My mother's a waspy woman.
Okay, thank you. I don't see any other hands up. No, okay, thank you very much. Okay, agenda item 3, to approve and sign the following minutes. Corporate and Regeneration Scrutiny Committee held on the 4th of November 2025. Okay, this is for accuracy only, please. So page, and just shout out if you got a thing, because I can't see. Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. And page 8. No hands up. Okay, can I remove in a seconder, please? Don't all fight over it now, please.
I'll move, Chair.
I move it,
Okay,
Chair.
that's
I'll
good.
second
Thank
it.
I'll second it, whatever.
Okay, move in a seconder. Thank you, folks. Okay, to the vote then, please.
Should be on your screens now, members.
Has everything come up yet, or is it just me? Or...
Yeah, the poll has come up, Chair. Would you like to register a verbal vote?
Yes, please. All 4.
So that's carried, Chair, with 9 votes for, including the 1 verbal vote, no against, and 5 abstentions. That's carried.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Item 4, considering of any matter referred to this committee in accordance with the call-in procedure. Mark?
No matters have been called in for this meeting, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Item 5, members, Corporate and Regeneration Scrutiny Committee Forward Work Programme. Pages 9 to 20. Over to you, Mark.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Members are asked to consider the forward work programme alongside the forward work programme for Cabinet and suggest any additions or amendments within Appendix 3. We're in the process of putting together the forward work programme for 26-27, so you'll see that at the moment there's nothing in for the next two meetings, the 31st of March and the 12th of May. The next time we have a report listed on the forward work programme is the 23rd of June, but we are working to rectify that, and members will be advised when there is additions to that forward work programme. So if members are happy, I'd like to seek permission to publish the forward work programme with any amendments onto the Council's website. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Do we need to move and second that?
Yes, please, Chair.
Chair, there is, just to clarify, there are some items for March on here. I don't know I'm reading it correctly, but the 18th of March.
Can you see that, Mark?
Sorry, what was that, Councillor Mann? Where were you seeing the items for March?
There are items for the 18th of March, if I'm reading it correctly.
Yeah, there was two, wasn't there?
And for May.
Double check now.
Not querying them, I'm just saying they're on there.
Yeah.
For the 31st of March, Councillor Mann.
Hang on, I've gone past it now. Just a sec. The 18th it says on here.
Yeah, was that the Cabinet forward work programme you're looking at?
Oh, sorry, I missed the word cabinet. Apologies.
Okay. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Can we go for the vote then, please?
Someone to move and second first, Chair.
Oh, sorry. Move a seconder, please.
Happy
I'll
to
move
move it,
that.
Chair.
Okay, good.
I'll second it then.
Yeah.
Okay, to the vote then, please. And I'll vote for Mark.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, that's carried unanimously, Chair, with 14 votes for, including the one verbal vote.
Okay, thank you all very much. Okay, item 6, to receive and consider the following Cabinet reports. Mark?
Yeah, one of the Cabinet reports was brought forward, Chair, but that's now been withdrawn.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, moving a seconder. Do we...
There's no need for a mover, a second.
No need. No, I see that there now. I'm just flicking through here. Okay, so our next item is item 7, the notice of motion. Support for women affected by state pension age inequality, WOPSI women. So Councillor Parry is going to have a say, but Councillor Charlotte Bishop will move. Please.
I move that. Did you want me to read the report, Chair, or are you happy for it?
If you want, you can say what you want, Charlotte, whatever you want to do.
The notice of motion asks that the Council notes that many women born in the 50s and 60s have been significantly affected by the acceleration increase in the state pension age from 60 to 66. That a large number did not receive adequate or timely notice, leaving them without the opportunity to financially prepare for up to 6 additional years before receiving their state pension. That this has caused serious financial stress for many, including continued mortgage or rent repayments, unplanned additional years of work and loss of expected retirement income. Findings of maladministration by the Parliamentary and Health Service Ombudsman and expectation of further clarity from the UK Government, potentially in February. We believe that affected women deserve fair, prompt and just compensation for the hardship caused by failure in communication. While this council cannot provide financial support directly, it can and should stand up for residents who have been unfairly disadvantaged. The collective action from local authorities strengthens the call for urgent national resolution. The motion asks that this council therefore resolves to formally support the campaign for fair and timely compensation for women born in the 1950s and 60s who have been affected by the state pension age changes, and requested the Leader of the Council write to Westminster Government calling for swift implementation of a fair compensation scheme.
Yeah.
Ooh, Charlotte's gone on mute.
Okay, Charlotte, don't unmute, is she?
That's what it looks like from here.
Okay. Is Charlotte finished?
Yeah, that's been moved, Chair.
Okay, that's been moved. Okay, and second, Denver, you were seconding it?
I don't know if Councillor Parry wants to come in as well, Chair.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, Councillor Parry.
Thank you very much. As Charlotte has just eloquently said, that a large number of women didn't receive adequate or timely notice. I am actually one of those women. I heard by word of mouth, believe it or not by letter. Unfortunately, the government, the UK government in Westminster, has further rejected the findings of maladministration by the Parliamentary and Health Service Ombudsman, and submissions of new evidence showing that not all letters advising women of their retirement age had been dispatched. Like they said, they've rejected the findings. So I'm just giving you a little bit of an update there. It isn't fair, and to be quite truthful, the affected women deserve fair, prompt and just compensation for the hardship caused by the failures in communication. Many WASPI women were given just 18 months notice of a 6-year increase at their state pension age. By contrast, men received 6 years notice for an increase of only 1 year. An estimated 3.6 million women have been affected by these changes. And just to give you some clarity on that, I am a WASPI woman. I am at the age of 69. Sorry. And I still have a mortgage.
Take your time. No rush.
Yeah. My mortgage will continue until I'm 75. Yeah, so the government has not acknowledged any kind of hardship as women have faced. So what I would like to do is ask this committee if I can find my place now, I will say, sorry, I'm just controlling myself a minute. What I would like to ask this committee is to support this motion and support the campaign for fair and timely compensation for women born in the 1950s and 60s, and vote in favour of this notice of motion, and recommend that it's taken to the next full council meeting so that all members have an opportunity to lend their support. And we will ask the leader of this council to also write to Westminster Government in support. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you very much. Members, I can't see any hands up. I totally support this 100%. Unfortunately, my one sister just turned a couple of weeks ago. She got her pension, age of 66. Her sister, a couple of years younger, unfortunately, will never get her pension. Never lasted to see it. I think the way, and it's still happening, unfortunately now. I said it with my mother. My mother was 4 years younger than my dad, and when she becomes 60, she got a pension on her own right. She was getting 2p a week. The way we have treated women throughout history is disgraceful. And governments, all mostly run by men, unfortunately. Men are making decisions. I'm an Aberystwyth now. I see my girl is up here at the university. all the men now in government making decisions that students, needed to pay for their education, and they all had it for free. It seems to me there's people making decisions in this country that are not looking after everyone, and women are way at the bottom of the list. So I totally support this motion 100%. So, anyone else looking to speak on this? Teresa, do you like to begin?
Yeah, well, thank you, Gary. I have got a statement written by Leanne Dallimore from Unison. With your permission, I will read it if you have time today.
Yeah, you go on, you carry. Yep, you do it, please.
Thank you. Chair and members, my apologies for being unable to join you all at scrutiny this evening. Cyfle Unison stands in full support of this motion, which seeks justice for WASPI women. We ask this committee to recognise recognition for the thousands of women here in our country and across the UK who are affected by the accelerated increase in state pension age. For many women born in the 1950s and 60s, the shift from a pension age of 60 to 66 was not simply a policy change on paper, it was a profound and often devastating reality that shaped their lives. The issue is not principle or equalisation, the issue is how it was carried out. We know that a huge number of women did not receive adequate or timely notice of this change. They were denied the chance to make informed plans, denied the opportunity to prepare financially, and in many cases denied the retirement they had worked towards for decades. Instead of entering a well-earned stage of life, many found themselves facing up to 6 unexpected years of additional living costs, mortgage or rent repayments, or the need to remain in employment even when their health made it extremely difficult. Many WASPI women were given just 18 months' notice of a 6-year increase to their state pension age. By contrast, men received 6 years' notice for an increase of only 1 year. An estimated 3.6 million women have been affected by these changes. The government argues that the Parliamentary and Health Service Ombudsman report had highlighted maladministration in communication. It did not necessitate compensation, and a flat rate payout estimated at 10.3 billion is not fair to taxpayers. Yet 2008 UK bank bailouts involved a peak crash injection of approximately 133 billion to 137 billion in loans of capital to stabilise institutions like RBS and Lloyds, with total support including guarantees exceeding 1 trillion. While most cash was repaid over time, the net cost to taxpayers is estimated at roughly 23 billion to 33 billion. Sadly, the government's recent decision clearly shows that their loyalties lay and their bankers will always be more important than their pensioners. As a trade union, we have set a very clear message to this government on their recent decision. Our new General Secretary, Andrea Egan, said, "The decision slams the door on justice for a generation of women who lost out through no fault of their own. They have had years of delays and false hope, but the government chose to stand by a flawed process rather than do the right thing. That ministers now must urgently rethink this decision. By doing nothing, they are deepening the sense of betrayal and alienating women who did everything asked of them. As the UK's largest public sector trade union, we will continue to support and fight for the WASPI women to ensure they get what's owed to them and for what they feel is a fair deal. The motion does not ask this council to provide financial support directly. That is not within our powers. What it does ask is something equally important, that we add our voice to the growing call for fair, prompt and just compensation for those who have been so clearly disadvantaged. Local authorities standing together amplify this message. They show that it is not a minority concern, not a niche campaign, but a significant national issue that demands a national response. Supporting this motion is not about politics, it's about fairness. It's about acknowledgement of real hardship that many women in our communities continue to face because of failures that were not of their making. And it is about doing what we can do, calling on the Westminster Government to deliver the swift implementation of a fair compensation scheme. I urge you all to support this motion, to stand with the women affected and to demonstrate that this council believes in fairness and justice of accountability. Kind regards, Leanne Dallimore, Branch Secretary of Caerphilly Unison. And thank you, Chair, for allowing me to read that out.
Thank you, no problem. I think Councillor Thomas, you got your hand?
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Just want to say to Teresa, well done. I was obviously very heartfelt, and I think she's done more than her bit today for a lot of ladies in a similar position to herself. She should be proud of herself, and I fully support the motion.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Mann?
Thanks, Chair. Again, I believe we all support this motion. I just want to record my support. I mean, I don't need to add to what has been said. I mean, we had an amazing example from Teresa as how it personally affects people, and sadly, she's not by herself. There are thousands upon thousands of other people who are in the same boat. And I think you mentioned it, Chair. There were the people who cost the UK trillions of pounds in the banking scandal basically got away with it. Yet they haven't got, the UK government has decided, in spite of rulings against, that they still haven't got the money to do this. It's an absolute disgrace the way this has been handled.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, no other hands then. We'll go to the vote. Unfortunately, Teresa, you can't vote on this, but to the vote.
We need a seconder, Chair.
Oh, sorry, a seconder.
I'll second it, Chair.
I was going to say it.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Thank you, Chair.
I thought Deborah was doing that, but okay. So to the vote then, please. I'll vote for, please.
That's been carried unanimously, Chair, with the inclusion of a verbal vote from yourself.
Okay, so that goes to Council now, Charlotte, or Teresa, so you'll be able to move it yourself. But thank you, Charlotte, for moving it for her.
Thank you very much, Chair, and allowing me to speak. I'll be leaving the meeting now and let you get on with business.
Go and have your dinner.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay, let me just get on to my next agenda item here, members. Corporate and Regeneration Miscellaneous Finance 25-26 Budget Monitoring Report Quarter 3. We have the Cabinet Member, Councillor Elaine Sterner, Cabinet Member for Finance and Performance. Over to you, Leonard.
Thank you, Chair. This report informs members of the revenue expenditure for the Corporate and Regeneration Directorate in Quarter 3 in 25-26. The report summarises the recent budget monitoring projections as of the 31st of December 25. Information on more significant variations against budget is also included in the report, and the recommendation is at 3.1 that scrutiny note the report. Thank you.
Okay, members. We are open for questions. There's Councillor Chasson Dawson, please. You're on mute, I think.
Yeah.
I thought it was me there. I thought
It's 5.2.5 and 5.2.14. Oh no, actually, it doesn't matter. That was answered in the report. 5.2.7 how many staff positions are still awaiting to be filled, and what's the normal figure? And I'm trying to assess if there's a problem with recruitment, as it seems to be many examples of savings from positions not being filled. And I've also got another question related to that. Shall I?
Can I
it
just
now or
Councillor
Yeah,
Chapman?
do the one and then we'll go to the next one. Okay, who's answering that? I don't see any hands up.
I think, Chair, that Councillor Chapman Dawson's referring to agenda item 9. So we're still on agenda item 8, which is the corporate and regeneration miscellaneous finance 25, 26.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry.
So
too eager.
Yeah.
Colin, you had a question on that, didn't you?
Yeah, sorry, I'm up on the right one, Chair. It's page 37. It's looking at the the red column, and the paragraph underneath is saying that the savings are not expected to be achieved this year. I just wondered if officers could give us an idea of whether there will be a catching up process, or whether this is something that that we've missed out on. There's nearly £1 million there, as you can see.
Okay.
So, Leanne Sykes, Chair, would like to answer that one.
Yeah, please, Leanne.
Okay, thank you. So of the 971k, the transformation target element has been addressed in the budget for 26-27, and a new transformation target has been set for that year. And the other savings are all down to, it's just due to time delay, so they will be delivered, but they won't be delivered now until 26-27. And we will continue to track the savings as we do across years and in year, and bring that to scrutiny and to Cabinet.
Okay, John.
Okay, Cole, do you want to come back in there, or are you okay?
No, I'm happy with that, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Enright?
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Just directed to the various overspends through this particular report, and I'm just wondering, have we identified any financial risks in regards to those overspends? Do they push us into a worse pickle than we are currently? Thanks, mate. Okay,
Leanne?
Yeah, so overall, the quarter-free Cabinet report will be going next week.
No,
tomorrow. And the position has actually improved overall, because we have been able to put in mitigating savings to bring the position back. But you're right, we are looking at overspends. We have addressed any that we can't resolve. They have been addressed through the 26-27 budget. Some of them, like I said, is just timings where savings haven't been able to be delivered as quickly as we had originally planned. But we do keep a close eye on it, and that's why we bring it forward. But overall, quarter 3 to Cabinet will show an improved position for quarter 3 from quarter 2.
By how much, roughly? Just roughly.
6.
Don't worry, you can come back to me.
It's about
Cheers.
1.5 improvement overall.
How much, sorry?
1.5 million.
Okay, cheers.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Anyone else got any questions?
Yeah, Gary, sorry, I thought I had my hand up.
No, I see it now, Anne. Councillor Gare, please.
I just wanted to ask the reasons behind the overspending 5.3.14 for the 77k trade union overspend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're in discussions with the trade union at the moment to update the facilities agreement. So we are looking to resolve that, but it's due to the funding for the trade union and the staff that are involved.
Can I just ask a question on? Can I have a follow up on that? Is that coastal with me? Okay. Can I? Why is that coming back on me? Anyone got their thing on? That's
no, I could do.
Yeah. Okay. Just.
I hope there's some charge in them.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you, Chair.
Okay, that's okay. Thank you. £71,000 seems to be a lot of money. Can you tell me how it is so much overspent? And what is the whole budget then for the trade union? Can you please tell me?
If I come in, Chair, the trade union facilities agreement is quite out of date now. Actually, as Leanne said, we're in the process of revising that and bringing a report forward to Cabinet probably next month. One of the trade union officers, Unison officers, has recently retired, so that has dealt with the overspend situation for us now. So we won't face that overspend going into 26-27.
Yeah, but Mark, £70,000, that's near enough 2 full-time staff.
I think it was one member of staff with on costs, Chair.
What, with £70,000? Wow.
With on.
I'm in the wrong trade union, but there we go. Obviously. So okay. We wait to see what the new facilities agreement is then. So do you have any idea what the total budget was? If we're 70 odd overspent?
Not off the top of my head, no, but I can give you that information tomorrow.
Yeah, if you can send it out to members, please, Mark. Thank you very much. Okay, members, is there no other questions on this? So, yeah, sorry, go on, I can't see. Who was that?
No hands are raised, Chair.
Right, okay, Mark. I don't think there's anything to vote on this here, is there? So the recommendations were on page 27 of your packs. So we have raised the questions on that there. Okay. Item 9 now, I think. Yep, item 9. This is the 25-26 Q3 Capital Programme Monitoring Report. Again, Councillor Leonard Sterner, the Cabinet Member for Finance and Performance.
Thank you, Chair. So this report is to inform members of a projected capital expenditure for 25-26 and to advise the forecast variance. This report provides details of actual and projected capital expenditure based on information available as of the 31st of December 25. The recommendations are at 3.1 to 3.1.2 of the report, and they are for scrutiny to note the content of the report, endorse a recommendation to Cabinet to approve a contingency funding allocation of £690,000 comprising of £639,000 from the Extended Producer Responsibility Grant and £50,000 from the unallocated Core Capital Grant to support Phase 2 maintenance and improvement works at the Full Moon Recycling and Waste Transfer Station. This will allow the works contract to be awarded by the end of February 26, ahead of the Welsh Government grant decision. If the grant bid is unsuccessful, the contingency funding will be used in its place. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, members. Councillor Enright.
Chair, just a quick one. I was just curious as to external funding, the funding streams that are available, UK government, Welsh government, levelling up, all that kind of stuff. Are they being fully utilised, or are there plans, behind the scenes to tap into some more funding? Thanks.
Okay, who's answering that?
Leanne Sykes, Chair.
Yes.
Leanne, please.
Thank you. Yes, so we are fully utilising any external funding. So UK SPF is in there. We're building in the local growth fund, and any of the new funding that becomes available, we will build in as well.
Okay, you okay with that, Gary? Yeah. Okay. Councillor Chatterton Dawson, then, please.
That's my question again.
Right on this time.
5.2.7. How many staff positions are still awaiting to be filled, and what's the normal figure? There seems to be a problem with recruitment, as there seems to be many examples of savings from positions not being filled.
Okay, Leanne, are you doing that?
Yeah, I can see that it's on this report. 5.2.7 on here is talking about a Welsh Government grant towards a property investment.
Then it must be the last report then. It's one of the reports.
Do you want me just to answer your question? So you're asking...
Yes, that'd be great. Yes.
So in terms of why we've got staff vacancies, so why we've got underspent on staffing, so as you know, as part of the transformation programme, we've introduced a vacancy management process where we make sure we scrutinise all vacancies. So it has meant there are delays in recruitment while we assess whether that is an essential recruitment, because we are looking at removing those vacancies permanently where possible so that we then don't have to make redundancies to make savings.
Okay. So we haven't got a recruitment issue in general?
Not in general. I mean, you do get pockets of issues with recruitment which services work through, but in general the delay is more due to that process, because we want to make sure that we are giving full scrutiny to recruiting all vacancies.
Okay, that's brilliant. Thanks. I did have another question.
Okay, go on then. Yeah, on this one now. Yeah.
Yes, on this one. Yeah.
Okay.
The Tusker gas car scheme, was this part of the decarbonisation initiative? It's 5.3.11. Unless...
I think this also might be on the previous report.
Right, so I was asking it at the right time when I asked previously.
Yeah, I'm just going to go back and can I come back to it when I can have a look at...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got another question which may also be from the National Insurance Contributions Assistance for the 5.600 million. Is this a one-off payment, or is this will this be ongoing?
Okay.
Will you get the contributions each year?
So that was also on the last report. So in terms of the national insurance, so that was the ongoing pressure from the change in the national insurance. So what we did, we got one-off Welsh Government grant to address it in 25-26, and then they have put it into our settlement for 26-27, so it has been addressed.
Brilliant, that's great. Thanks very much. Oh, and page 52. Now that should be correct. Page 52. The columns, are they not labelled on the graph? Just trying to work out what each column is showing. Page 52.
Yeah, so you're right. It's chopped off the heading, so it should have the years above each column. So the first column is 25-26, then it should be 26-27, 27-28.
Brilliant, thanks.
Okay. We got there. Okay, Councillor Enright, I seen your hand go back up today.
Yeah, I was going to ask a question, but I think I've already asked it before of Leanne. In regards to the deleted posts, correct me if I might have already asked you, I'm not quite sure. In regards to the deleted posts, obviously, at some point, they're jobs for tomorrow's workforce. So at what point are we going to set the reset button to review whether those posts are required, rather than just, I'll choose my words lightly, just getting rid of them because we can't recruit to them? Doesn't mean to say we won't be able to recruit to them in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, that kind of thing. That makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It does make sense, thank you. So as before they're deleted, it is going through this process, and we are doing workforce planning with each service where they are looking forward and looking at changes in policies that are coming down the line, looking at technology and what we need that service to look like and how it should be structured. So that is all part of the process before we delete a post.
So the post that we do delete at some point, it might be a hybrid post in regards to need as opposed to...
It really depends on the vacancy. So in some cases, it is just so that vacancy can be taken up and the work be done differently. In other cases, the vacancy is being removed and the service is restructuring and coming up with posts and positions to be able to run the service.
Brilliant. Thanks, Leanne.
Okay. Marina, you your hand back up.
Yeah, I did have another question, and I did have some questions, but they were all from agenda item 9 because I was told it was the wrong agenda, but it wasn't. Will I have my questions answered? And I have another question, but it was from agenda 9.
But that was agenda 9.
Yeah. So am I allowed to ask this question, because I was told I was on the wrong agenda item when I wasn't?
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, go on. Ask your
On
question.
page 55, 5.2.2, Fabon School construction, is this started? Because I'm just concerned about prices going up. If there's delays, building prices might hike up. So is this delayed, or is this on time? When is it started, or is it about to start?
Is that not for number 10? No?
Yeah, I think we've just had the approval from Welsh Government, so it will be an imminent start, I think.
Right, brilliant. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else left? No. Anything else now, Marina, before we move on to 8 and 10?
No.
No?
I've got something for 11, but not for 10.
Okay, so then the recommendations are on page 51 of your packs. It is recommended that members 3.1 note the content of the report, 3.1.2 endorse a recommendation to Cabinet to approve a contingency funding allocation of 0.690 million, comprising 0.639 million from the Extended Producer Responsibility Grant and 0.050 million from unallocated core capital grant. To support Phase 2 maintenance and improvement works at the Full Moon Recycling and Waste Transfer Station, this allows the works contract to be awarded by end of February 2026, ahead of the Welsh Government grant decision. If grant bid is unsuccessful, this contingency funding will be used in this place. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please?
Happy to move, Chair.
Okay. A seconder, please. So I can't see a seconder there.
I second, Chair. Councillor Williams.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, to the vote then, members. Mark, I vote for, please.
Thank you, Chair. Noted. That's been carried unanimously, Chair, with 13 votes for, including the verbal vote from yourself.
Okay, thank you all members that go to Cabinet. Okay, item 10, the Capital Strategy Report 26-27. Councillor Elena Stenner, Cabinet Member for Finance and Performance.
Thank you, Chair. This report is before scrutiny this evening prior to its submission to full council on the 24th of February. The Capital Strategy Report for 26-27 is in accordance with the Prudential Code introduced by the Local Government Act 2003. The report cross-references to the budget proposals 26-27 report and the Treasury Management Annual Strategy, Capital Finance Prudential Indicators and Minimum Revenue Provision Policy Report for 26-27. The Capital Strategy outlines the principles and framework at a very high level that shape the authority's capital investment proposals. The principal aim is to deliver an affordable programme of capital consistent with a financial strategy that contributes to the achievement of the Council's priorities and objectives as set out in the authority's corporate plan. Consider associate risks, recognise financial constraints over the longer term and represent value for money. The strategy explains how the capital investment decisions are made and how the capital programme will be managed, in line with the Prudential Code for Local Authority Investment. The Prudential Code has the following key objectives: that capital investment plans are affordable, prudent and sustainable, that Treasury management decisions are taken in accordance with good professional practice, that local strategic planning, asset management and proper option appraisals are supported. The recommendation is at 3.1 that scrutiny note the report. Thank you.
Okay, members. Marina, you want to come? Yeah.
Yeah. Could somebody explain 5.20.1, the graph? I think it means that the loans at CRFR are going to be greater than that, which we find acceptable. But could you explain it? Because I might be totally wrong.
I think you're on,
Okay.
I think you're on the next agenda item. This is agenda item 10.
Right.
You're on 11 again, are you?
You're still on 10. Okay, then. I thought
No, well, we were on 9, now we're on 10.
Right.
Okay, you want number
I'll
11. I'll remind you on the next one, Marina, okay? Okay, anyone else? I don't see any other hands up. No, okay. Okay, so this is item 10. The recommendations are on page 64 of your packs, 3.1, that the annual capital statutory report be noted by the Corporate and Generation Scrutiny Committee prior to council approval. So we have done that. So thank you, members. On to item 11. Treasury Management Annual Strategy, Capital Finance, Prudential Indicators and Minimum Revenue Provision Policy for 26-27. Oh, you're making it harder and harder. Councillor Leonard Sterner, Cabinet Member for Finance and Performance. Please.
Thank you once again, Chair. This report is brought before scrutiny for consideration before its submission to full council on the 24th of February. The report is a data set of prudential indicators relevant to Treasury management and capital finance. The report cross-referenced to the budget proposals for 26-27 and the capital strategy 26-27, which was the previous report this evening. Also, consideration is required to the Council's minimum revenue provision policy to be adopted by the authority for 26-27. Code of Practice for Treasury Management in the Public Services provides that an annual strategy be submitted to members on or before the start of the financial year to outline the activities planned within the parameters of the Treasury Management Policy Statement and the Treasury Management Practices. The Local Government Act 2003 also requires the authority to set out its Treasury Management Strategy for borrowing for the forthcoming year to prepare an annual investment strategy, which sets out the policies for managing its investments, giving priority to the security and liquidity of those investments. Welsh Government issued guidance on local government investments, which is incorporated within the report. Definitions of local government investments are given in Appendix 1. Under the provisions of the Local Government Act 2003, the Local Authorities Regulations 2003 and subsequent amendments, and the SIPFA, the Prudential Code for Capital Finance, the authority is obliged to approve and publish a number of indicators relevant to capital finance and treasury management. With effect from the 1st of April 2008, Welsh Government introduced the Local Authorities Regulations, which requires the authority to prepare an annual minimum revenue provisional policy statement. This report sets out what the authority needs to do in order to comply with this requirement. The recommendations are at 3.1 to 3.8 of the report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Councillor Chesson-Dawson. I know this is your one now, so would you like to ask the question again?
I would, yes. Shall I repeat it?
Yeah, go on.
Can you explain the graph on 5.20.1?
Okay, Leanne, are you doing this or?
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. Actually, what I will do as well is I'll take away that really it does require a better explanation because it's not fully explained. So the grey bit of the graph is our current borrowing level, and then the other line, so particularly if you look at the blue line, where it's like a turquoisey colour, that shows the level of loans that we would require for our capital programme. It's called our capital financing requirement. So it's just showing you there's a difference at the moment, and that's because we are internally borrowing.
And is it within acceptable limits? Because to me it seemed so much higher. Is that still an acceptable limit?
Yeah, so it is an acceptable limit. So remember, this is forward looking, so it's based on our capital programme and our planned expenditure.
Yeah.
So it is fine, but I will take that as a recommendation and make sure that it is fully explained in the report. Thank you.
Right, and I've got some more questions if I could. Is there any debt which has not been paid in full for assets that are not providing benefit because one of your strategies is not to have money owing on any assets that don't provide, so that the repayments of that debt is repaid by the time the life of that asset is finished? So have we any debt that is not being paid in full, which is not of benefit? Do you understand the question?
I'll answer it and you can tell me if I've understood. So we don't actually have to link our actual borrowing to an asset. It's not how we do it. So what we do is our capital programme, and we identify which assets, we identify in the programme which projects we will fund from borrowing, but then when we borrow and how we borrow is a treasury management decision. So they are separate decisions. And then if we are borrowing for an asset, we repay that over the life of that asset. If it's for a road, for example, we might spread that borrowing over 60 years. If it's for IT equipment, it would only be 5 years, because you do it on the useful life of the asset. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And is there any assets that are not paid up that have lost their use, that no, do you understand what?
We wouldn't be in that position because we make sure we depreciate it by those amounts.
Right, so there is definitely none. All right, and
Councillor Chapman, our most valuable asset is our highways, and the depreciation and disrepair in highways, not just in Caerphilly, nationally, local authorities will never have enough money to catch up with the repair requirement. Never. We're talking at probably 300 years to get to with the existing level of funding put into our highways, to get them to almost a brand new state is probably 300 years worth of finance, and that's a position right across the UK. So there isn't enough money in the system to have the highway asset never ever costing you money, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a shame that they don't design a road that lasts a bit longer. Yeah. All right.
Have you been on the M4 lately? Absolutely crazy. Disgusting it is.
Can I ask one more question? What checks are done on assets prior to sale to ensure there's no, say, covenants remains on the land or the property?
Legally, we wouldn't be allowed to sell an asset where there are covenants, legal covenants on it. Those covenants would have.
So you do a search for if there is on those.
Absolutely.
Right, brilliant. That's it. Oh, there was another question. It was about borrowing in advance, because it says that you're not allowed to borrow in advance for investments. But if you borrow in advance and you're hanging on to that money, are you allowed to invest it for the time that you're hanging on to it? Because I've noticed that there is borrowing in advance, so you can borrow before you need the money. It's in your strategy.
You're not allowed to borrow in advance of need. So if we have a scheme that we're going to fund from borrowing, then we could take out a loan if we needed to actually borrow. So if we had to have a treasury management decision to actually borrow, we could borrow it then. Right. We would be borrowing because we were making out those payments. We wouldn't borrow to invest.
No, not to invest, but there is, in that strategy, there is a thing where you borrow in advance in case that you need it. And if you're hanging on to that money for 6 months because you borrowed it in advance, so it's okay. Um,
No. I know.
it does
I
say
know
in the
what's going
strategy
on.
that there are
Yes.
examples of people that have invested that money
Yes.
while they're waiting to use it.
So
I
we
just
manage
wondered if
our
that's
cash flow.
we do that.
Yeah, so we manage our cash flow. So if we've got funds, then we would put that out for investment, and we do that in line with our strategy. So it could be short term because we know we're going to use it, or it could be medium or long term. And we've got treasury advisors who assist us with that. But we do not borrow in advance of need, but we would borrow for a programme, say, at the beginning of the year, and then we would manage that as part of our cash flow. So we need to make sure we have a minimum level of cash flow all the time.
So you never borrow in advance. Okay. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, but so if you go on that there, Leanne, so you borrow money for a scheme and that scheme falls through, what would you do with that money? Would you invest that money, or would you try and pay back as much as you could?
Yeah, it's a fine line because the borrowing isn't linked to specific assets. We might say that a project is funded by borrowing, but the actual taking out of a loan is a treasury management decision, and we do that based on our cash flow and our need to borrow. So they are linked, but they're separate. I don't know how. What I could do, I'll tell you what I'll do, is I'll ask our treasury advisors to kind of write it down in a statement that you can then have a look at, and I can take another question again, because they are, it's a linked decision, but they are separate.
Valid point. Valid. Okay, thank you. Anyone else? I don't see any other hands up. Okay. So, recommendation is on page 76 of your packs. 3.1, the Corporate and Regeneration Scrutiny Committee considers and comments upon the contents of this report and appendices and following recommendations prior to consideration by Council. 3.2, the strategy will be reviewed every 6 months as part of the Treasury Management Monitoring Report. We send it to the Corporate and Regeneration Scrutiny Committee, and any changes recommended be referred to Cabinet in the first instance and to Council for a decision. This will include a half-yearly Treasury Management Performance Report. 3.3, that the prudential indicators for Treasury Management be approved as per Appendix 5. 3.4, that the prudential indicators for capital finances be approved as per Appendices 6 and 7. That 3.5, that members adopt the MRP policies as set out in Appendix 8. 3.6, the continuation of the 25-26 investment strategy and the leading to financial institutions and corporates in accordance with the minimum credit rating. Criteria disclosed within the report. 3.7, that the authority continues to adopt investment grade scale as minimum credit rating criterion to access the credit worthiness suitable counterparties when placing investments. And 3.8, that the authority adopts the monetary and investment duration limits as set out in Appendix 3 of the report. So can I have a move in a second for that, please? Don't all fight at once now, please.
I'll move it.
Okay, good. Why do you wait for me to say it, you know?
I couldn't get my mic off. I'll second.
I'm just making sure you're awake, here, so.
We've got to move in a second there. Okay.
Second, Chair.
Thank you very much. To the vote there, members. I'm for, please, Mark.
That's noted, Chair. That's carried, members, 13 votes for, no votes against and 2 abstentions.
Oh, thank you very much, please, members. Okay. I'd like to thank you for your patience tonight. It's not been the easiest of meetings for me anyway. Trying to do it on a phone, but we got through it okay. So like to thank Mark. He been on the phone to him all day today. So it just shows what a good team that we have there behind us all the time, looking after us. So thank you, members, and have a nice evening. And next time I'll be definitely there. I can guarantee that. Okay.
Thank you, Chair.
Good night, all.
Thank you, members.
Thank you, members.
Good night, all.
Good night.